Well, thanks, Chad and Rhea. I'm Stephen Heumann, and I am not on an ATV, I'm on a boat. And I am here in Costa Rica with you guys, also helping to preview our AYL trip in June. And I'm with Jungle Crocodile Safaris. And if the name isn't clear enough for you, we're on a croc hunt. Come with me.
Costa Rica. Beautiful, green, laid back. Their slogan says it all. Pura vida. Pure life. Everything here has a way of putting you at ease. Well, almost everything. The Rio Grande de Tarcoles runs from the volcanic areas of the north, not too far from where Chad and Rhea are currently, and after traveling several hundred miles, eventually spills out into the Pacific Ocean. This is a big river. Its watershed encompasses around 50% of Costa Rica's population. It's also home to birds and lizard species of all types. A few miles from the sea, the Tarcoles River also becomes the breeding ground for much larger creatures.
So the people come here to see a lot of crocodile. So you can see a lot of birds, the wildlife, the many herons, a big crocodile.
Big crocodiles. Our guide Caesar knows this river like his home neighborhood. Every day he takes out tours with Jungle Crocodile Safaris, doing his best to get you close enough to look a croc in the eye. Our first encounter is with a mom guarding her nest.
He doesn't look too dangerous. Let's go right up to him.
As we approach, she takes slowly to the water, but is never any distance from her gestating posterity that she couldn't attack if needed. We smartly remain on the boat.
So she was a female crocodile, and right here along the sound bar, she's actually laid her eggs. She has a nest right there. So for the next 3 months, she won't leave this area at all. Not to eat, nothing, just to protect those eggs. She's got about 40 or 50 of them, and at the end of the 3 months, they'll crawl out and she'll go on her way. It's pretty amazing.
It's very exciting because I've never seen, obviously I've seen crocodiles at zoos and stuff, but never in the wild. It's always a very different experience. So seeing that one has got me very excited, especially when they say that you'll see dozens of them at a time. So we're just going to go up here and see if we can find some more.
On the way to seeing dozens of crocodiles, we encountered tons of different forms of wildlife. Iguanas and parrots, wild horses and cranes walking on the sand. Everything we see is just an appetizer to the main event of actually seeing these massive lizards in their natural environment. Caesar even goes so far as to feed them up close, something I'm willing to do in abstract, but when put into practice, I feel is better suited to the professionals.
Everything the first time is very scary, but I have a lot of experience to feed the crocodile. I feed now 5 years. It's good. I like to feed the crocodile.
But the crocs aren't the only thing that need to eat out here, and we head back to safari headquarters on the banks of the river for lunch.
This right here is rice and shrimp, and it's got some really complex flavors to it. It's not just like what you're going to get at your average restaurant in the States. This has a lot of very distinct local flavor.
That flavor extends to all of the food you'll encounter here in Costa Rica. Not far from Tarcoles, in the town of Quepos, we come to an interesting Italian restaurant called Victoria's that serves traditional dishes with a Costa Rican flair. Owner Mark Dalton named the restaurant after his daughter.
We were thanking God for everything. We said, God, thank you for Victoria's. And my little 3-year-old daughter goes, thank you, Jesus, for my restaurant. I said, what makes you think it's your restaurant? She says, well, I'm Victoria and it's Victoria's, so it must be my restaurant. And my 2-year-old daughter, Gabriella, goes, I don't have no restaurant. And so we had to create a jewelry line for my daughter, so now she has a jewelry line. So now it's Victoria's restaurant and Gabriella's jewelry.
Mark actually lets his employees' families eat at the restaurant for free, so there's just this amazing, friendly atmosphere.
And I think it's my way of giving back. And a lot of people who come to Costa Rica, it's a life-changing experience. And if I can take them up one notch, and if I can add a little something to that experience, that's a real rush for me. And so that's what really drives me. As a result, I have almost all my staff that I had almost 2 years ago when I started. And it's a real thrill for my wife and I.
The food was second to none. Great fish and lobster, but the pizzas are what got me. That and the dessert they lit on fire. Nothing quite satisfies like flaming ice cream.
Well, I've been a chef ever since I'm about 5 or 6 years old, and Italian's kind of always been my flair. I've always loved to cook Italian, so almost all the recipes are my recipes.
Well, once your stomach is full, there's nothing better than heading back out to search for crocodiles. It's only courteous that if you end up being a meal for a croc, that you at least show up with a full belly.
All right, so we've got a couple here. We've got 2 down here. We've got 1 right over here in the water. And if you look right here, you can see where one was just a few minutes ago.
Out here on the Tarcoles River, it's hard not to get immersed in the beauty and wonder that is Costa Rica. The sights and sounds inspire, and the thrills of what you encounter stay with you long after your boat is returned to dock. Now, these guys weren't so lucky, but we made it back safe and sound. This has been an amazing day, and to top it all off, Caesar finds another crocodile just waiting for a little snack.
Oh, there he goes. We'd like to thank Crocodile Safari Tours for taking us out here. This has just been great. Remember, in June, you want to come down here with us and just have an amazing day just like this one. Now, let's get back to Chad and Rhea on the ATVs.